Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Confucius. There comes a moment in your journey where you realize that all the noise, all the rejection, all the doubt, and all the criticism were never really about you. The whispers, the stares, the judgments. They were never a reflection of your worth. They were simply projections of someone else's fear, insecurity, and limitation. For too long, you may have believed the lies others told you about yourself. You may have let their words become weights on your spirit, their doubts, chains around your potential. But I am here to remind you it was never about them anyway. The dreams placed inside of you weren't given to your neighbor, your coworker, your critics, or your doubters. They were given to you. And because they were given to you, they don't have to make sense to anyone else. When people told you it was impossible, it wasn't about your ability. It was about the limits of their vision. When they told you that you couldn't, it was a prophecy. It was a confession of their own disbelief in themselves. How many times have you dimmed your light just to make someone else comfortable? How many times have you second-guessed your worth because someone else failed to see it? But here's the truth. It was never about their comfort, their validation, or their approval. The path you are on is sacred. It is personal. It is designed specifically for you. And the moment you realize that no amount of opposition can cancel your destiny. You see, destiny doesn't require an audience. Purpose doesn't need applause. Transformation doesn't walk for validation. It was never about them anyway. It was always about you stepping boldly into the fullness of who you are. Think about it. Every person who doubted you, every person who walked away, every person who tried to hold you back. What happened when they left? You still rose. You still found strength. You still made it here. Their exit didn't destroy you. Their silence couldn't break you. Their rejection didn't stop you. Why? Because they were never the source. Your source was always greater. Your source was always internal. Your source was always divine. When people see you pursuing something bigger than yourself, it makes them uncomfortable. Not because you're wrong, but because you're reminding them of everything they're too afraid to pursue. It was never about you being incapable. It was always about them being unwilling. It was never about you being unworthy. It was always about them being insecure. You were never too much. You were never too bold. You were never too ambitious. You were simply a mirror that revealed the smallness in others' thinking. And that's why they try to hold you back, because when you walk in your power, when you stand in your truth, when you live unapologetically, it exposes everything they are not willing to face. But listen to me closely. You don't need their permission to shine. You don't need their approval to succeed. You don't even need their blessings to rise. If it was about them, you would have quit a long time ago. If it was about them, you would have stayed silent, stayed hidden, stayed small, but you didn't. You kept moving. You kept believing. You kept showing up. That alone proves that your story is not tied to their acceptance. So stop wasting your energy trying to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop giving power to those who don't even have the capacity to dream as big as you do. The mission was never about proving them wrong. The mission was always about proving yourself right. The journey was never about changing their minds. The journey was always about changing your life. And the victory will never be about silencing your critics. The victory will be about fulfilling your calling. When you shift your focus from them to the vision inside you, you will feel unstoppable because you no longer fight for approval. You fight for purpose. You no longer wake up trying to impress others. You wake up trying to honor the gift inside you. The shift is everything. That shift is the difference between exhaustion and empowerment, between chasing validation and walking in destiny. It was never about the friends who left. It was about the strength you discovered in solitude. It was never about the jobs you lost. It was about the doors that opened because you were pushed out of comfort. It was never about the love that failed you. It was about the self-love that saved you. Every disappointment, every setback, every betrayal, it wasn't punishment. It was redirection. And the redirection was always pointing you back to yourself, back to your purpose, back to the truth that it was never about them anyway. So what does this mean for you today? It means you can release the bitterness. You can let go of the resentment. You can stop replaying the rejection because none of it has the power to define you. None of it has the authority to determine your future. The only thing that matters is what you choose to do now, in this moment, with the truth you know. Will you keep shrinking to fit into spaces too small for you, or will you expand, knowing that your destiny requires more? Will you keep silencing your voice to protect someone else's ego, or will you speak, knowing that your voice was meant to shift atmospheres? Will you keep dimming your light to make others comfortable? Or will you shine, knowing that your brilliance was meant to guide? This is your moment to reclaim your power. This is your moment to declare it was never about Ben anyway. Say it until it sinks deep into your spirit. Say it until it releases you from every chain of approval. Say it until it becomes your anthem. It was never about the people who doubted me. It was never about the people who left me. It was never about the people who betrayed me. It was always about the strength I built. It was always about the lessons I learned. It was always about the destiny I'm walking into. The world doesn't need you to be who they expect. The world needs you to be who you were created to be. So walk boldly. Walk fearlessly. Walk unapologetically. Because the world has been waiting for the fullness that is within you. The pain was part of the process. The rejection was part of the redirection. The doubts were part of the refining. But the promise was always yours. And nothing they did or didn't do could ever take it away. So today, stand tall. Lift your head. And remember this. It was never about them anyway. It was always about you. You've got this. Peace and blessings. Dr. O.